Everybody, I hope all of you are doing good. Welcome to the November edition of our podcast, which is the monthly podcast. Now, this comprises news from the subcontinent. We try to cover world politics, history, finance, and whatever travel that I do is also covered in this vlog, as well as any music videos that I do is also covered in this vlog. And we provide you links wherein you can go and watch them at your ease. So let's quickly start with our monthly podcast now for November. So now as we talk, today is the 2nd of December and the COP 2024, that is COP 28, but because that's a climate summit, but the COP 24 is happening in Abu Dhabi as of now. So the whole climate global warming bit is catching up, and all nations are really worried how do you solve this, because as you all of you know that if the temperature crosses another 2 degrees or so, then human life is in danger, wherein human bones will start falling, so because the human body cannot sustain this kind of heat. So the COP is going on there. So what happened last month? So this is just a refresher because this is happening, so I just thought I should mention it. So China visited US last month, and it was quite an eye opener, because US and China have not been on good lines. But then the visit was quite a quite a thing, because and they discussed a lot of things, the corridors and so it was quite a visit, because it was quite startling, where US has been working very closely with India on China plus one, as you all know. So the visit was a very startling one. So that visit happened in US this month, that is November. So let's talk about what investments are coming into India now, because India has been on the radar of most nations wherein they wish to invest in India, because India is the fastest growing economy as of now. So UAE has pledged close to $50 billion in India in terms of investments, so which is quite an amount in terms of all investments, in terms of all technologies and all sectors that they can look at investing in. And as all of you rightly know, that a lot of Indians live in the UAE, so it's like a second home for most of the Indians. Saab, that is a Swedish airplane company, also wishes to invest a lot of money in India, and they are the first company to get 100% FDI approval in India. So the total amount of money that Saab wishes to invest is 500 crores, which is quite a huge amount. Yeah. So as we talk now, let's talk about the Indian stock market. The Indian stock market, what are they doing? What are the recent developments? The recent developments are that companies which are unlisted are now allowed for foreign listing, the Indian companies. Also, India has got an entry into MSCI emerging market, and they are at 131. Let's talk about the OTT platform in India, which everybody knows has been growing very rapidly. So there has been an increase in the OTT viewership, up 13%. So we've got some close to 450 million OTT viewers. Also, I'm sure all of you guys are aware that we had the World Cup, and the viewership was amazing on the OTT platform as well as on the television, and of course people had gone to Ahmedabad to watch the match as well. Yeah, so that's a little bit about the OTT thing. And also let's talk about the wedding season in India. What's the market? The market is $50 billion. So that's the amount of spending that's going to happen in the next 6 months in the wedding season of India. $50 billion is a huge number. Yeah. Xi Jinping's visit to China, which was the APEC summit in San Francisco. And as I said, it was a very startling visit, because US has been working very closely with India, Japan and Australia, as the Quad exists for China plus one, because they believe China is a disruptor. And what was discussed? The limit of fentanyl, which again is an aggressive component for global warming. So they have limited the use of fentanyl. So that's the news on the Xi Jinping visit to China. Now let's talk about Saudi Arabia. Now Saudi Arabia has been in a lot of talks for the last 2.5-3 months. Why? Sports washing. What is sports washing? Sports washing is where the kingdom wishes to invest a lot in sports activities, which I'm sure all of you know that Cristiano Ronaldo is stationed in the Saudi Arabia because they're looking at promoting the sport. Also, Saudi Arabia is eyeing the IPL. So, in a bid to to grow their economy, to the presence to be felt. So that's what sports washing is. Saudi Arabia is indulging into, and they're going to bid for the IPL as well. Yeah, that's what their plan is. When we are talking about the OTT platform, we talk about the viewership. So there was a 55 million viewership for the Disney Hotstar World Cup that India watched, and as I mentioned, the numbers have been rising slowly. There's a lot of buzz about electric vehicles going on. So the Union Cabinet has sanctioned close to 57,000 crore for 10,000 electric vehicles in the coming years. And also the Germany-owned bank KfW wishes to invest in these vehicles to a larger extent. So that's how the whole electric story is also going. So when we talk about electric vehicles, let's talk about lithium. So the global value of lithium is estimated at some $8 billion globally. That's a huge number, you see. Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, which is X now, had planned to send a rocket with 100 people on board Starship, but it failed to take off, so that was a failed attempt. But better luck next time, because the guy has been trying really hard for a lot of things, yeah. So now, as we talk, the Israel-Gaza turmoil is still going on. It started in the first week of October and it is still going on. I guess first week of November, and it is still going on. And as we talk, situations are not normal at all. But in the midst of all of this, there is a crypto exchange, which is Binance. And Binance was being reviewed by the US government because they believe that Binance had a hand in financing Hamas. So that has been proved, and Binance has been has been found to be helping Hamas into through the crypto exchanges to fund Hamas. So that's the really sad part, but that is it. So as we talk about European countries, let's talk about Spain. There was re-election and a new prime minister takes up, Pedro Sanchez. We also have a new prime minister for Argentina, which is Javier Milei, and Argentina owns approximately $40 billion to the IMF. So they've got a lot of debts, and he's got a lot of work on his slaves. Yeah. Reliance, one of the biggest groups in India, plans to invest close to 20,000 crore in Bengal. So I think that's a huge thing, because Bengal has always been not been into that fray of a lot of investments, primarily because of the governments which they've had, which have been communist governments. But anyways, this is a good attempt, and let's see how Ambani goes through with the whole thing. What else do we have on the Indian front? eSIMs. Now it seems that eSIMs will take place, will replace the physical SIMs. Although eSIMs is not a new phenomenon, they have always been there since the last decade or so, but they've not been into too much use. But I think now slowly, and Airtel will be the first one, that is a Sunil Mittal-led company, to replace physical SIMs with eSIMs. So that's something which we're going to see now. India has working a lot with a single mile connectivity thing, which is ONDC, which is the Open Network Digital Connectivity. So now we'll have a single window for all connectivity, like for example auto rickshaws, e-rickshaws, cabs and buses, and so there is a point-to-point information about how people are moving about. So that's a lot more of information coming your way, or people who are data aggregators, so they will get a lot more information on that. We are almost on the closing note now, so we'll finish off with so we are on the finishing note now, so let's finish off. Exactly same time, 2019, China had a virus which was floating around, and then it came down to the entire world. And this time again, this year, there's a lot of alarming news from China, where a lot of children have been diagnosed with a virus very similar to pneumonia, H9N2. We just hope it doesn't outbreak to the entire world, and we pray for a better world with better health. And on a closing note, Henry Kissinger, the US diplomat, died at the age of 100, and he had done a lot of work for the US, and he was also visiting India during Indira Gandhi's reign. So, on that note, we close our monthly podcast. I hope I have tried to cover quite a few things, but it's impossible to cover everything in one shot. And we'll try to improve on this in a better way as soon as we get more subscribers coming to us. And all our reviews and all our channels are there at your disposal. Do visit them. Have a lovely time, and we shall see you next month. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. Thank you. Bye.